Happy Wednesday. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, guys. Hello, Mona and Loretta and Sue and Janet and Janet. Janet and Janet right after each other. And Marlene and Pat and Ann. Hello, Diane and Sherry Ann and Janet Benoit. Have not seen your name in a while. So glad you're here. Ooh. I have that fan on, but I might have to turn it off because it's cold now. We'll let the lights heat up and then it'll be really hot, right? And by the end of it, I'll be a hot, sweaty mess. So don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Sherry Ann. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like, comment, and share button. I used to have a little banner that went across the bottom, and I guess I got rid of it. I can't see. Can you tell? I have to constantly look through the bottom of my glasses. Anyway, so thanks for coming back if you were here last night. Loved what we did. I don't have the page. I varnished it. And it is in a box heading off to the first person that ordered a journal. And I'm not going to say who it is. I want them to be surprised. So there were several of y'all that ordered a journal and several of y'all that joined my membership group. So welcome and thank you so much. I look forward to painting with you ladies and gentlemen, because we do have a gentleman. We have Patrick from France in our group. And so yeah, glad I caught your video. Hi Karen, so am I. Welcome, welcome. Hello Joanne, hello Ronnie and Linda. I do have a cough drop in my mouth only because I have seasonal allergies. And let me just say, things in Georgia are blooming and flowering and shedding, and it has hit me again today. So, oh, thanks Loretta. Yes, I will do a big welcome probably tomorrow for those that joined today and yesterday, but we'll see. I wanted to not do that too often because I don't want anyone to get missed. Hi Sue, thank you so much. Yeah, oh, it's just, it's just seasonal. It's, what can you do about it? All right. It's been a great day, a busy day. I have a lesson with my membership group tomorrow. So tomorrow night I will be live, and then I'm going to jump on live with y'all. Just to do a little something. It might not be real big, but what I want you to do, what I want to ask you to do, if you could, we're going to talk about prompts again, because that's what my membership group is working on this year, and working from, I should say, is prompts. So leave me a prompt, leave me a comment in the comment section of what you would like to see me paint. I'm going to be painting live with you guys between now and Saturday. Sunday, I already have a project picked out. I'm doing that paint palette phone stand. But if you will leave me a comment of something that you want to see between now and Saturday, tomorrow and Saturday, I should say, let me know in the comments and I will take those prompts and run with them. So happy for new members. You'll love Sandy's Adventures in Art. Thank you, Diane. My favorite part of membership being open is all the extra days we get to spend creating with you. Cindy Braden, you're the sweetest. I know, because I usually do a week or at least 5 days. Having dinner in Colorado. Hi, Laura. Give everyone hugs and hellos for me. Well, Sue, since I just did that in the membership group, I'm not sure if I would do it here. But we've got a beautiful hummingbird in the membership group, so we'll see. Hello, Linda Salsini. I did. Ooh, seashells would be good with summer coming up, huh? And the other thing is the shells I shared, getting so spoiled with seeing Sandy. Yes. Come next week, you'll probably be tired of me. Something for Memorial Day, Americana fireworks flag. Hello, Jackie. So I have a retired military husband that he doesn't like the American flag on things other than the American flag. So I've never painted, well, I think I did. I think I painted an eagle with like just a little bit of the red, white, and blue. But flip-flops, love to see how you bling them up. That'd be cute. That actually sounds, Loretta, like a project you would knock out of the park. You should do that. Alrighty. So I did, you'll notice, I did go ahead and do my nails. They were driving me crazy, but I will say that I did not go and have them done. I put on the ones that I bought from a friend had a party called, had to change over to my tablet, called they're Red Aspen. I don't have the box. I thought I had the box because I did them out here. But anyway, I put them on and I have to say so far I'm very impressed because regular like press-on nails, like the Kiss press-on nails, they're so flimsy. I bend them back, they break off. We'll see how many pop off tonight. Me? No, I'm working on seashells. Oh, okay. Well, I did, like I said, I did the seashells as a challenge in the group and gave the line drawing to them years ago, but I never taught it as a lesson. So that might be a good one to teach as a lesson or just to do painting with you guys. What do you think? Anyway, just put it in the comments. All the comments over on YouTube have stopped, so hopefully those will pick up. Make sure to like, comment, share. Happy mail winners. I did not do this until, where are they at? I did not do this until 7:15. But I went through all of the names of everybody on YouTube and Facebook that commented, liked, and shared, and put your name on a wheel and spun it around. And these are the people that won. So Red Aspen, that's all I use now. Oh, and only on weekends and special days. Yeah, so I'm so far I'm pretty impressed. They are. Hello, my sweet, amazing niece, Gabrielle. Gabby's here. Welcome, sweetie. I love you and I miss you and I cannot wait for you to be in Georgia. Seashells. Some farm equipment. Ooh, that sounds fun, Sue. Hello, Ellie. Okay, so hello, Kay Merriman. Happy mail number 1 that popped up on the wheel was Marilyn Healy. Marilyn, I have your information, so no need to send that. Hello, Diane. Make sure you guys are inviting your creative friends. I cannot wait to get rid of this gray. Where is it at? Friday. All right, happy mail number 2, and these will go out this week, is Eileen Miller. So, Eileen, message me. I can't say seashells. I have to say that very slow. Seashells would be awesome. Let me look into that. Okay. Anyway, you can message me. You can email me. You can go to my website, hit the contact button if you don't have my email. Okay. And the last one, a newbie, is Marissa Bayal. Bayal, I think. Okay. So, I need to hear by Saturday night from you guys for you to be able to get your prezzies, okay? Your happy mail. I already know Marilyn's. I'm going to send hers out. But Eileen and Marissa, if you guys could send me your details, I will get that sent out to you. All right. And Marilyn is in my membership group. Anyway, so awesome. Oh my gosh, there's so much to share with you guys. So, like I mentioned, yesterday and today, and I will be the rest of this week, be here painting and creating and just sharing a little bit about my membership group. I started it in 2020 as a way to just really connect and create with people on a different level than I ever have. I used to travel a lot. In 2020, I had 23 trips. I took 3 of them. 20 of them canceled because of COVID. And things since then have been a little strange. So I started this membership group. I didn't want people to have to go out and find 1,000 different surfaces. Eileen Miller, yes, you, my friend. Your beautiful profile picture with the baby. So it has been probably one of the best things I've ever done in my art journey. And the reason why is that I get to create and connect with these ladies. Even the ones that have had to leave or whatever, but they've been a part of this journey with me. So when I started it, I told my husband, I don't know, maybe 2-3 times a week, or 1 or 2 times a week, a month. And it's 3 to 4 times a month that we paint together. There are 300 plus recorded lessons. I am in the process. This came up yesterday, so I do want Marilyn Healy. Thank you for the stars. You are always so incredibly sweet. Your grandbaby, Eileen, love it. So on Facebook, if you send stars, I send that money to World Central Kitchen. On YouTube, same thing. If you hit that little donate button, $sign at the bottom, all that money goes to the World Central Kitchen, feeding people around the world in dire need. Hi, Karen. So, what was I saying? Oh, so all the content, the lives that I do with my membership group are in the Facebook group that's private, okay? So when you join, you'll get an email, and I send it to you, and you request to join the group. And all the content is there. However, Facebook has changed some things with how much content that they are housing for people. So I'm in the process of having all that content moved to a private members only page on my website. All right. So when you go to my website, you get a little thing to join and make an account and all that. I will go into all my members and mark that you have access to those videos. They will not show up on my website until I get more up there. Right now I have somebody working on that. So it's going to be a minute, but I did want to let you know that everything, all the content I have shared to hard drives, we have everything from 2020 till now. You can join at any time, you can join anytime between now and Sunday at midnight. But you can join monthly or yearly and cancel at any time that you'd like. The doors will not be open until fall of next year. I'm getting ahead of myself. Fall of 2025, Sandy. So the doors will close this coming Sunday at midnight. They will not open until fall 2025. And I'll be here again for a week painting with you guys live. And then after that, they won't open again until spring, early summer, 2026. So I forgot to save some of my videos from last month and they got deleted. Oh, Loretta, I'm so sorry. I know it's frustrating. I understand it. To be honest with you, I was surprised that they allowed that many videos. I mean, seriously, I have 300 plus in the group. But we have guest artist lessons, we have challenges, we have Happy Mail. Every single month I do a Happy Mail drawing for 3 members, and all you have to do is be a member. And it's brushes and surfaces and lots of fun things, new stencils that I've done, products that I've gotten from events that I go to that are gifted to me, and why not gift them to somebody else instead of just sitting here? Because I usually get 2, one for me and then one I can share. So it's an exciting time this week that I love every year. Last May, we had a lot of members join, which was exciting. And I'm just looking forward to being here with you guys from now till Sunday, painting. So again, tomorrow night, my membership group has a lesson at 7. So I probably won't be on, back to like the original thought 10 minutes ago. I probably won't be on tomorrow night till about 9 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to finish with my group and I'm going to pop on right over here. So, alrighty. It is well worth being a member. Thank you, Mary, one of my OGs. Appreciate you. All right. Oh, the other thing I do want to make just a little clear is I do have a discount code on my website. Let's see if I have that somewhere. Anyway, it's all capital A-R-T, art. And you cannot use that on the membership, unfortunately, because first off, it's already a fantastic deal for the amount of content that I give monthly and what's already in the archives. The other thing is that is only good for products on my website because the subscription actually runs through PayPal. So you put in that information, you get your subscription. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can always pay with just your credit card or debit card. And if you don't want to do that, you can always message me and send a check. I have had many people do that. So, because they don't like PayPal, yes, discount for members too. Yes, discount always, the best discount ever I give to my membership. Sue Potts, oh goodness gracious, I just adore you, my friend. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. You are always so very generous. So that will be going to the World Central Kitchen at the end of the year. I match those donations and send that off. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's get started because yesterday we did the iris. Like I said, I wish I had uploaded a picture. I did upload a picture of the finished page on the live from last night. So if you go through the comments, you'll see my comment with the page, okay? If you're in the membership group already, you have a PDF with the line drawing and a color picture of my finished page, okay? Same thing with tonight. You guys in the membership group are going to get the line drawing for the girl that I drew out. Love her. She needs a name. This page needs a name. I'm not exactly sure what. She had braids, so I almost called her Heidi, but that's a given, right? So she needs something else. But anyway, I love her. I don't know where she came from. She was just in my mind. And oftentimes people think that my girls look like me. And I don't see it, but they might. For the membership group, tomorrow night we're doing succulents. So there's a really cool technique that I've shared in my group. And actually last May or last fall, when I opened my membership group, I did a page and I shared how to do that color twist. I think I called it color block when I put it in the group today, but it's the color twist challenge or technique. So anyway, so that is tomorrow night. We will be doing that and then I'll be coming here and painting something with you guys. So again, feel free to leave in the comments a prompt for tomorrow, okay? Other than seashells. And so Karen Sink, I'm so glad that you joined. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Is it Brady, Brandy, Haley, May, Hope, River? Ooh, River's kind of cute. All of them are cute. Or are you saying to paint a river? If it's that, the prompt's a river. No, I'm not painting a river. I did think about a landscape. So, hello, Virginia. All right, this cough drop is almost gone. So, all right, let me come right down here. I already announced the Happy Mail winners. I wanted to show you a couple of the girls that I've done with my membership group. And all these lessons are in the archives that you'd have access to. The other thing is if you're a teacher and you are looking for, oh, let me move that, inspiration, you are allowed to teach my projects, okay? I've already had several that have taught, excuse me, yes, so I have a big container full of all the prompts that I've come up with. And then I asked my membership group earlier in the year to come up with prompts, and I've put those in the bucket as well. So what happens is each month I will draw at least 3 prompts. And so, like last night, where's that one page? Last night was Iris, because Donna Baker, Chris Avola, a couple other people had shouted out that prompt. What it does for me, guys, is it challenges me to really push beyond my inability, not my inability, what's the word? I get very stuck sometimes that I don't want to paint that. This is what I want to paint, and this is what we're painting. The prompts have made me really dive into other things that I normally would not paint. So it's been a challenge for me and a great challenge for the members, and I love it. So this was one of the first ones that we did in the membership group, and I don't know if it was 2020 or 2021. But basically what we did is we went in and we did a whole background. This was a Zoom class, so this was like 4 hours plus. And because I do quarterly Zoom classes that are free to my members, and we paint everything. I'll show you guys tomorrow the shoes we've done. I did a bag. There are many things that we've done in the group. Landscapes. These are magazine models. And then I have Birds in Bloom magazines or Victoria. So we went through our magazines and cut things out, and then decoupaged everything on, embellished it with stamps and stencils. And so again, those were the first 2 that I did. And then of course my Be Yourself Always, Unless You Can Be a Mermaid. And Bonnie, I have not forgotten about doing it in acrylics. I did it in acrylics, I just haven't written it. And then the other one, I loved her. So she was based off an angel that I created for, I can't even remember what the name of it was, but it was an art thing with Kelly Hornig years ago. Let me get a hair off there. Years ago, Kelly Hornig did some kind of a sign up and paint with several different people. And I know, right? Sherry Ann, yes. So the Highland Cow, that got me on the whole bucket thing with the prompts, because Highland Cow has been in my bucket for my group for a long time. So if I'm going to paint that one, I probably will paint it there first. Anyway, loved her. And again, she was based on a piece I did. Oh, and there's the shells that I did. And funny enough, these are all on a piece of cardstock. Oh, no, excuse me, not cardstock. It's on another piece of journal page. And then I cut around it and put it on the page. Okay, so might have to do that one tomorrow. All right, this one I did in, it was, I want to say, oh my gosh, what's my friend's name? Freeman. Why can't I remember her first name? Fantastic artist. She did a Facebook group lesson that was free. And so I did my Queen Bee Girl, and I uploaded that to my membership as well. Play dates, that's what it was. Thank you, Janet. Yes, so it was the play date. Okay, so again, this was one we recently did because it was on the cover of one of my journals. Gustav Klimt, I showed you guys that last night, and love her. So they're all different. I just start drawing, and what happens, happens. And so, like the one today, she has braids. I don't know if I've done braids before. Again, the girl that I did, same with the Liechtenstein girl. And I did mark them tonight so that I didn't have to go through everything. This one was a take on the girl with the pearl earring. And if you're familiar with that painting, which is very famous, she had on a complete headdress, and it was those colors. So I wanted to use the color as inspiration, and we really dove into how to paint a pearl. Okay, so to make it look realistic like a pearl. So instead of one pearl earring, I did two. And then another one is Margaret Keane, Big Eyes. If you've never seen that, I think it's on Netflix, right? Anyway, it's called Big Eyes, maybe HBO, but fantastic. Just loved the movie and loved her work. Some of it looks a little scary, but this was another one we did, and it was more or less all transparent. You can still see things through her face and her hair. I love that. Out of my comfort zone can produce a great art. Getting out of my comfort zone. Absolutely. Yes. And I walk you through everything. So again, this is one, and I had, let's see if I have it in here. I had drawn her out along with some other things. So my art journal is also just my little sketchbook, and I'll come and, draw here. So I had drawn her and then came up with this design, and we painted this on a Zoom class. So much texture, right, in the background. And then the last one before we get started on our piece tonight is my fairy that I did that I love. She's just a little garden fairy, and lots of fun little details and things with her. And then this one, funny enough, our prompt was bubbles, okay? But I didn't want to just paint bubbles on a page. So I did her, and then that was the original, and then this was the lesson. And on this one, I really didn't like her hand, so I did neurographic art on her, and I love that too. So let's move that out of the way and bring our page for our girl tonight. Did I share this with you guys on the, I don't know where it went. I see it. On the one I'm teaching my membership group tomorrow night on succulents, all the background color is like all the background color here, just different colors. But I took my palette, my Gray Matters palette, and we put paint on it, and then we folded it in half, and then we opened it, spritzed it with water, spritzed our page with water. I did this last year when my membership doors opened, and shared with you guys how to do that. So you can go back and look on YouTube. It's there for sure. And it's exactly the same way I did this. So almost all the color is there from the palette. And then you just go around it with a darker color, or, I just did a little solid so that it would show up more. And then you accentuate a little shading, little highlighting, little pen work, and you're done. So, but that was the first one I had done, the color twist with my group. Okay, so let's bring her. Now, I drew her out on just a journal page, and it doesn't have gesso or matte medium on it. So the reason I'm going to put gesso on this, two things. It's going to seal the paper so that I can paint on top of it. And it's also going to mute those lines. Okay, now if I want a design outlined, I just re-outline it. But if I don't necessarily care if I see those black lines, then this is a great way to get rid of them. When you do a pattern with transfer paper, same thing. You can put a little bit of gesso over it if it's just too dark. You know how you've probably tried to erase them for years, and it doesn't always go as light as you want it. So a little gesso. I always say gesso's going to be your best friend after you meet me. Because it is my go-to. I love it. Thanks, Ronnie. I love the Garden Fairy. She was sweet. So while we're drawing this, let me also, hello, Bev. Get that out of there. that, like I mentioned earlier, when I started my membership group, and I didn't want everyone. First off, we couldn't because it was in the middle of the pandemic, and for everyone to have to go get all these different surfaces. We don't have wall space. We have too many surfaces. Plus, you couldn't go to a store and find anything anyway because we didn't go to stores, right? You shopped online if you were able to. So I need a little bit more right there. So I went to a journal because it was my happy place. In fact, before I started it, I really had to think about if I wanted to open up this part of my world with other people, because it was my place to go to create and test products and just have fun. And have you... So yes, well, this one I didn't trace, I just drew her out. And then tomorrow, or before Sunday, I'll show you guys the light box technique because it's amazing. How many media books do you have with your art? Oh my goodness, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 12. 12, and the 13th one is just being started. But the thing is, you can paint any of my lessons that we do in my group. You can paint any of them on a wood surface, on canvas, on a paper mache box, on fabric. Her name could be Monarch or Mariposa, which is Spanish for butterfly. Ooh, maybe we call her Mari. Mariposa. I like that. Sweet. Although I don't know if I want to paint monarchs. We'll see. That's 3. That's a lot. Okay, she's still wet up here. So the gesso, again, just knocked back the pen that I used to draw the page, and I used an ultra fine tip Sharpie marker. I used to use the fine tip on an Identipen all the time, but they started to really dry out quicker than I was used to using a Identipen. So I switched, but I'm always on the hunt for a good permanent black pen and a good permanent white pen. Okay. All right, so let's think about, first off, let me ask you guys and put it in the comments for me if you would. What color hair? What color hair? Are we going for blonde? Are we going for brown? I was kind of thinking brown. Are we going for blue, pink? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Thank you, Karen. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you, Donna. Oh, thanks, Sherry Ann. Okay, guys, so what color hair? I'm going to start getting some colors out. Oh, there's a gnat. Oh, he's been in my studio all day. In fact, on my straw for my water bottle, I have put, I put this little cap for my spritzer thing so I didn't have to keep taking it off. Blonde with yellow highlights. Red hair. Ooh, brown. Yes, Cindy, I love the Deli Make pens too. That's another great option. Let's see if I have one right here. I should. Hello. Right here. So, Deli Make pens. You can get these on Amazon. They are double-ended. It's got a fine tip and just like an Identipen. I have not used these on fabric. One of the reasons I love Identipen is that you can use them on fabric and it doesn't wash out. So, brown. Her name could be Flora, Roman goddess of flowers and spring. I thought about putting flowers in her hair, and I could probably put a flower or two. Apricot with my, don't think, what was that? We've ever done black. We did black. remember Anne, the girl that also had the neurographic? I thought that too. The last girl we did on Zoom, with the membership group, and I said, oh, I don't think we've ever done black hair. Well, we did on the one with the bubbles. I completely forgot. Okay, so we're gonna get started because I need to like pick it up. So I will keep looking. Blonde with teal highlights. Maybe I'll do like a golden brown. Who just said that where I saw that? Because that's my first thought, was like a golden brown. Okay, we're gonna start. Let's start with the background, just to get a little something going. You know, like when you start on a blank canvas, black would be good too. Yeah, but the butterflies are going to be black outlined. Then I have to fight that. So she could have a garland of flowers around her head. She could. Brown with blonde highlights. Can you tell? I couldn't decide. Okay, so we got it wet. And I have my palette here. And I just grabbed, I wish you could see, but I just grabbed a smorgasbord of colors over here. So I think first, if I decide, I don't know why, but I kind of want to go with pink in the background. Do I want to do that, Sandy? I kind of do. I kind of want to put a little pink in the background. So we're just going to go with it, because that's how I wing it, is just go with it. Because at the end of the day, if I don't like it, guess what? Gesso is my best friend. It's one of my best friends. Peacock teal. We'll put a little bit of that. And then maybe I'll do her shirt orange or something. I love that color together. Pink, blue, and orange. Absolutely. Probably one of my favorite combinations. Or green. So I love sour apple as well. Let's shake that up. Go for it. Yes. She looks like my daughter. Oh, Mona. That's awesome. Okay, so we'll put a little bit of sour apple out. And I'm going to get my 1/2-inch angle. So I have a Dynasty Faux Squirrel angle. It holds a lot of moisture, so it's really going to extend that paint for you. Magenta was the first strawberry. The first was strawberry. The second was peacock teal. And the third was sour apple. Aren't these colors pretty together? They're very summery too. Summery. Okay, so we are just going to go in. And I'm not real hung up if it gets in her hair or on her face. We will take care of it. As you guys saw last night when I do this background, you just go with it. Go with it. Okay, so I've got pink there. Got it along there. Trying to look and see if I wanted to put it in between her hair, like right here. I think so, because then that just reclaims some of that background space. All right, so let's just spritz that with a little water and get it to move. Nothing straight on that, no straight lines. Super dark. Keep it going. Keep it moving. Get out our paper towels. Okay. I love things like this. When you're doing mixed media, that might be something you're like, oh, I gotta change that. No, you don't. Leave it and play until, if you don't like that, you can always come back and put other paint there. But I'm just thinking, you know what? I'm not going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do. I think I'm going to incorporate those two colors. but I'm thinking I'm gonna add some bubblegum pink. Carousel pink would look pretty too. So a little. Hi, Elk. You could call her Summer. I could. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so my background is now dry, so a little bit more water. So you can kind of help keep it out of major elements, like her face, things like that. But I can always wipe it off as well. Okay. Fascinating to watch you do this. I haven't seen. Aw, thanks, Mickey. I do a lot of this in my membership group, which is why I'm here this week with you guys, is to create, say hi, paint, share the opportunity of painting with me 3 to 4 times a month, having access to 300 plus recorded lessons. All right, so a little bit more strawberry. And there are many in my group. I right now, the one I can think of, Janet Roach, and I know she'd say it, but she's like, I'm gonna do my background first. You can always do your background first. When you don't have your pattern on there though, unfortunately, you don't see those areas that you could do or put the color in. And I like it just to be maybe a little bit of a surprise or, okay, well, let's work with that. All right, so, okay, I'm really liking that pink. I'm glad I did that. I'm just gonna take my brush, rinse it out. And get it off some of her hair and her shirt. Again, no major biggie because I will always come in and gesso over it or use my paint. All right, let's kind of dry this. Not all the way. Painting people is so intimidating me. Enjoy watching. Oh, thank you, Pam. Rain, Lorelei. Ronnie's on a roll with all these names. Yeah, I thought about magenta hair, but magenta background won, so I think we will do brown with blonde highlights. Okay, again, I don't want it, see, it's still glistening, it's still wet. I don't want it all dry, but I want to get it semi-dry. And then I'll take my number 8 flat, which I got somewhere. I have 100 of them somewhere. Rinse that out. We are going to pick up some of the peacock teal, make it very inky. Hi, Heather. And then we will come in and we're just gonna make her fun. Let's just make her very fun, okay? Now I do not want big drips and drops in her hair because I don't wanna see that texture unless I have put that texture there. So sometimes those drops can create that texture. We're gonna let it just sit for a second and then come in with paper towel. So I'm also going to share with you guys through now through Sunday, also some of my absolute favorite must-haves in my studio. Viva paper towels is one. Blue Shop towels are great too. Anything that is rough on your hands is rough on your brushes. If you're spending good money on brushes and you're using a Bounty or something that has a lot of texture to it and it's very rough, it is going to damage your brushes over time. Okay, so do yourself a favor and either Blue Shop towels or Viva paper towels so that you can keep your brushes like new. Okay. All right, so we've got some blue back there. Loving that. Just winging it. So you guys, again, this week are getting a little glimpse as to how my crazy brain works. So sometimes it's scary. Oop, zoomed in too close. Let's zoom out just a wee bit. Okay, then I'm also going to do the green. Oh, thanks, Brenda. So the sour apple. Okay, so got it wet. Sour apple, nice and inky. Thank you, Pat. And we will put a little green. Here and there, but not everywhere. I do want to get a little bit up there, but we'll move what's on her hair off. You notice I didn't ask if you wanted green hair because she's not having green hair. Okay, let's semi-dry this. Is there a space where her neck, see, that's what I was right here. I'm going to do that, whatever her hair color is. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I looked at that. I did this one, but I wanted, like, these hairs that flow here, I wanted there just to be a little bit of her hair color there. But, yeah, I saw that. Okay, so again, just semi-dry. Then we're going to lay that paper towel down. And you want it dry. And it's, again, going to slightly lift and give us a stained splatter versus a harsh splatter. So let's come up here and look at that. So see how it's stained. You have some dots that are darker because they probably dried before I got to them, but then those that are stained, I love, love, love that technique. And I always love to share where I learned those techniques. And so that technique, I think I actually saw the first person do it was Kelly Hornig on her art play date. No, you're in my extra eyes, Cindy. You and Sue Potts. Like, hey, there's a spot there, there's a spot there. We've had some comical lessons, right? Where I'm like, I don't know where you're talking. Anywho's. Okay, so let's, look, I got way too much paint out. But we'll see. Actually, I'm gonna do that and move it to the side so I can use that. Put it right there. I just don't want to get my hand into it. Okay, skin tone. Skin tone varies. You know, there are several of colors that DecoArt has and have had. Natural buff. I will tell you what I think is probably one of the most genius things in my lifetime that I've seen in the last 10 years maybe, is that they do Band-Aids now for all skin colors. It was something that never crossed my mind, and how wrong of me, because, you know, if I've got a really tan Band-Aid on my very dark brown skin, that looks silly. So I was thrilled when they came out with those. Same thing with the crayons. Okay, I can't get that off. Anyway, this one is Natural Buff. Let's see if it's going to come out, because nope. I don't want to pop my nail off on my live, so if we, oh, I know. Aw, thank you, Kathy. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit of Natural Buff, but it's too light. I mean, it's very porcelain looking, especially if you add it with another color. So I do like to add a little bit of quinacridone gold, but I think on all of the lessons that I have in the membership group, I probably have painted the girls different every single time, because I just don't want them to all look cookie cutter. So I'm gonna take a dot of that and mix it. And so I will just mix until I get the, you know, kind of the shade that I want. A little bit of water. I was not able to do this, Sandy. Thanks for motivating me to start. Oh, You're so welcome. Okay, let's see what's going over there. So I'm going to go over, and this is one of the reasons that I use that pen to put her features on. And many, many times I will go back and redraw her features because I don't want to lose them. So if you get it in the hair, that's okay. And for those in my membership group, this line drawing is going to be loaded. I have the line drawing, I just didn't want to put it in the group without the finished picture. So I will do that. Okay, so see how you can still see all of her features. And then we're going to come right up here and do her neck. Again, if I get on her shirt, that's okay. I have a stencil I pulled. So I have a stencil line with Tracy Morrow. We started it, oh my gosh, I don't even know when, 2017, 18. Some of my absolute favorite stencils. And this one has roses. So I thought about doing her shirt, maybe with roses, which would kind of lean towards what Ronnie said about flora, or what'd you say? Something about floral and butterfly. Hello, Betty. So Mona, I'm using Natural Buff. If you don't have this, a good color that is, it's kind of similar, but it's a little more on the peach side, is White Peach. So you could mix a little bit of quinacridone gold or burnt sienna with that, and a little warm white is going to give you a really pretty skin tone color. And then adding a little bit of that quinacridone gold or asphaltum or a little bit of lush green. Now, believe it or not, if you watch people paint portraits and stuff, a lot of times they're using greens and oranges and things in the skin tone. So, okay, I do think, Cindy. Hello, Mary. So we are going to, because it's kind of driving me crazy, is we're going to just go ahead and paint this in, I think. And if I don't want it there, I can always, oops, hello. I can always come back and make it dark. Just added space, dead space, where you don't get any kind of light coming in. Messed that up, didn't I? So I'll just go right over that. That's the other thing with brush mixing, is you might get into, you know, maybe a little bit of a lighter shade or a darker shade. But when I paint my girls, I tend to do their skin 3 or 4 times so that it's not streaky. So this stencil, I'm sure someone can it's on my YouTube. If you go to YouTube, I just looked at the word YouTube and said YouTube. Yes, Loretta, green, yes. So Oliver Roses. I don't know what number it is. I know it's an M2 something. And so if you see that on my website and you guys want to post it, that'd be awesome. I'm gonna refresh my YouTube channel. Aw, thank you, Eileen. I will. I'll put your Happy Mail in there. Thank you. So Mona, Loretta put that in the comments. I will tell you though, you're in Canada, right, Mona? And if you are, it probably will be cheaper to have to order it from Tracy. And her website is right there, tracymorrow.net. Okay, so because for me to ship it to Canada costs a heck of a lot more for y'all to ship something from Canada to me, which is just crazy. Okay. Now, I don't care if anything goes away on her face other than her eyes. And not necessarily everything, but the shape of them. So oftentimes I will come back and just redraw that basic shape of her eyes. Okay? It just helps me keep everything where I need it. Yes, that's what I thought. So that would be good. Again, probably a lot cheaper shipping cost from Tracy. And she always throws in extra fun goodies too. So, okay, one more layer on her face. See how much that covered that pen. So if I didn't have that on, I probably would have lost a lot of the outline. The other thing when it comes to skin tone, you think about your highlights and your shading, and oftentimes the way I do that is to think about how I put my makeup on, which kind of changed with the pandemic because I started watching this lady and doing my makeup totally different than I have my whole life. So, all right, let's dry it. She does have a nose and mouth. You just can't see it because it's covered. All right, let's get out some colors. We're going to get out a little bit of raw sienna, which is a very golden brown, okay? So more like the yellow ochre, deep ochre. I wouldn't say yellow ochre. It's not as yellow. It's a little closer to like honey brown, all right, which I think I also have right here. Honey brown. This is a color I have not used a lot, but last year I designed a little teddy bear that I taught at the Chattanooga Expo, the Art Expo, and it's also coming back next year. So excited, can't wait. Have some exciting news to share about that when I can. But I used honey brown. I thought, why have I not ever used this color? I love it. Okay, so we are going to go into the, let's see if you can see my palette. I just have a number 12 flat. Watching from my, oh, Deb, I saw that. Praying for you, my friend, and hope everything is okay and that you're out of the hospital soon. Okay, so that is way too dark. So I just added water to my brush. We're going to go over the butterfly and everything because it's in the way. There's her hair. Again, a little more water. Want that. So even though this is a kind of a golden yellow, like raw sienna is, it's going to go brown when we start putting some browns with it. So you could even do burnt sienna. Burnt sienna tends to go a little more red for me. So just like with my hair, when I get my hair done, it's like, do not put red, anything that resembles red or highlights of red, because I do not look good as a redhead. When I was in high school, I had a vocational high school that I attended and did cosmetology for 3 years and loved it. But decided not to do the state board because I didn't want to stand on my feet the rest of my life. And what do? Because I always feel like I paint better when I stand. I'm standing right now. But it was a great experience. Okay, let's dry this. Except Chattanooga Convention will now be held in Alabama. Thank you, Ronnie. Yes. So Norma, I am using my favorite go-to journal. It is an In and Out. Let me show you the cover. I do sell them. You can get them online as well. Grumbacher. But one of the reasons I love them, as you can see, I have my page out, is that I can remove that page, and really you should push these together so that it comes out and comes back in. But what happens when using, you know, water and stencils and all the other stuff is you might get a little buckling at first, but look how flat this page is, right? So great paper. It is a mixed media paper. It has, I think there's 60 sheets in here. It used to be 50. 98 pound, and I love it. It's my go-to. Piercing blue eyes, that's what I was thinking. Especially with that pink background. And there's a really cool way to get piercing eyes, like, you know, and it's all about the rim of the eye. Okay, had some wet areas there, so we're just gonna pick up a little bit of that. Okay. And my girls always look very scary to me until I get their eyes done. So sometimes I have to stop midstream of what I'm doing so that I can make that happen because they start to freak me out a little. But I had started drawing them, oh my gosh, probably 20, all the years run together after 2020 or before. So maybe 2018 or 2017. And I started drawing them. Then I had stamps made. So I have like 3 different girl stamps or 4 different girl stamps. But then when the pandemic hit, I just stopped having all that stuff made. You just never knew when you're going to be able to get it. Hello, Rhonda. A little something special coming your way with your order. Y'all don't forget to, when you order on my website, to use discount code ART, all capitals, for discount. And then if you're in my membership group, I'm not giving y'all that one unless you're in my membership group, you get a different discount code, and it is the best discount available. Okay, now let's take a small, let's see, what is this? A 10-aught rigger. And I'm going to take some titanium white. Let's just get a little bit of that out there. Okay. And this is another thing that once you start getting in her details, it really does take away the scary, freaky part. So we'll just do the white of her eyes with titanium white. And there are 1,000 different ways to do portraits, to do girls, to do eyes, to do all of it. I am a big believer that in art you should never say always, because in art it's not always one way, right? There are many different ways to do something. So the absolutes, I think when I first started teaching myself how to paint, the absolutes of you have to do it this way and you have to do it that way really kind of pushed me to figure out how I want to do it instead of how it's supposed to be done. Or someone says it has to be done that way. Does that make sense? Okay. So I think I made her pupil bigger than I want it, but I kind of like it. So we'll see. We'll see. We're going to go with one more coat on her skin. And this time I'm going to add a little bit of white to it to lighten it. Swipe it across my paper towel. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to take my finger and help move that along. A little more water in my brush. And even after I'm done painting my girls, sometimes if the skin color just got a little bit too pasty or a wash over with your lightest color. So on this, it would be that natural buff with a little bit of titanium white, just a wash of that, and it brings it all together. This was another subject that when I started my membership group that I thought, oh, I don't know if I want to paint my girls. I don't know if I want to share how I paint my girls. And then I reminded myself that I share everything that I paint. And want to, especially with my group, and share my tips and tricks and things so that, you know, y'all can have success painting it, creating it. And then if you teach it, to be able to do that as well. So okay, now at any point, if I feel like I can't, I'm starting to lose like that nose or the mouth, I can stop, re-outline with my pen. Okay. So we're just going to dry her. I've never heard mustard is good for leg cramps. Wow. Okay, just my little test that she's dry. Alrighty. So we are going to come in with asphaltum. Where did I put that? I know I grabbed it. Asphaltum. If you use burnt umber, stop and switch to asphaltum. It's got a beautiful yellow to it and just is a golden brown that's beautiful. Burnt umber to me is a dead color. So, and then I also want to get out a little bit of Payne's Gray. So a little Payne's Gray and a little bit of asphaltum on the toe of my angle brush. Remember, toe and heel. And then you want to work it in. So notice my palette. I'm just flattening it into just the toe only. Then I can turn it over and work the other side. I typically don't do this like if I'm double loading because you never know if your wrist is going to go wonky. So do it 3 or 4 times one side, 3 or 4 times the other. Now this is the darkness of your color that's going to show up. If you want it lighter, all you have to do is walk over to the right and see how much lighter that color just became. But if you want it that dark, you're just going to push it right back to there. Okay? So, I'm going to swipe across my paper towel just to get rid of the excess. And I want to come in on these braids that are shaded in this area. And again, we'll add, and so it's okay if you could get a little dark. Again, asphaltum, Payne's gray, that got black, so I need to add more brown. I don't necessarily like to mix it down to one color. I like the brush mix so that there's a variation. When you have a variation, it's a lot more natural than when you have the same color right out of a bottle, or you've mixed it down with a palette knife. Okay, so let it have a little variation. I'm going to get into that one, so let's stop there. Okay. So especially in here, we want to okay, so see how it's getting dirty? My brush is dirty. So rinse that out. Come back to your palette, clean, fresh brush. I should have, you know what, I should have done a better job, and I should have done Rhonda's hair. Right, Rhonda? I should have done your color hair because you've got gorgeous, beautiful red hair. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Alrighty. So there are our braids. And again, it doesn't matter if they're too dark. And this is a very loose braid because she did it herself. I can French braid someone's hair one way, but I can't French braid my hair the same way. It goes the opposite direction. So like instead of it being under, it's an over. Don't forget that flat top mop. Alright, so a little more asphaltum, Payne's gray. See, she had an extra little braid there that I obviously drew in, thinking she needed it. Okay, and then up here, we're just going to do a little bit of shading. We'll start adding some other colors to her hair. Again, those little, maybe little blonde highlights. Again, this is asphaltum and a little bit of Payne's gray. Let's see. And her little part right here, I'm just going to take the toe of the brush and do just a little zigzag. Okay. And I don't want to do every single line that I drew, but I am going to, because I tend to go a little crazy with the pen, but I do want to get a little bit of shading in there between the sections. She kind of looks like a zombie right now with those eyes, right? And a little water. So here's a good tip that I learned from my friend Lana Lamb years ago. When I was editor of Interactive Artist Magazine. It was an online magazine,
And when I became editor-in-chief, I wanted to have different artists that were like kind of starting out. And I saw Lana's work on Facebook and I thought, oh, I love her work. So she did a lesson in there, and then we've become really good friends. And she had this tip: put a little bit of water on your palette. So when you go to float color, if it's not moving or coming off your brush, you need a little bit of water. But we tend to put too much when we go to our water basin, right? So just go to like your smallest little dot and come over here and work it in, okay? So I'm a firm believer in, sharing where I've learned it, or calling that out, because I know I appreciate it when people do. And it just might not have been the first person that did it. It's just the first person that I learned it from, so. And we also have a couple actually guest lessons in our group from Lana. So if you watch her on YouTube or anything, we have some lessons. I was sick, I think it was last summer, or the summer before, and she pitched in and did a really great lesson for me. I was down for a couple weeks with COVID, the fourth time. Okay, so we're just gonna add a little bit there. All right, so I've got our hair, and I tend to jump around so that I don't overwork something. If you are getting aggravated in a certain area that you're painting, the best thing you could do for yourself is to go somewhere else. I mean, you can get up and leave your table working, but go somewhere else on your painting. So if the hair's driving you crazy, go to the face. If your face is driving you crazy, go to the hair. If the hair is driving you crazy, go to the shirt. Those type things, so that you're not overworking and overthinking. And remember too that when we're here, I'm going to show you the back of my hair. When we're here, we see everything that looks wrong with it. When we stand back and hold it back, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, I love that magazine. I never realized that you were the editor-in-chief. I guess you and I have been ships passing for many years before I joined your group. Right, Janet? Yes. So I was for 2 or 3 years, and then Erica Joanne took it over from me because I got extremely busy travel teaching. Plus, I was also teaching locally 5-6 classes a month. So it was a lot, but I loved it. It was a great, great magazine. Okay, so now I'm going to rinse that out. 3/8 angle. Gonna take just asphaltum. So when you go into your paint, go to the side of it, so that you, like if I go all the way in the middle with that Payne's Gray, I've just contaminated my whole pile of paint. So, and then like I mentioned, I'm going to walk it to the right just a little bit because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, walk it to the left. But we're gonna get a little bit of a shadow. So think about on your makeup, like where you would contour. And that's where you would put that shadow. And I don't want any straight lines, so I'm going to soften that out. Soften that with your finger. We don't want to make her dirty looking. I just did right there. And then I'm going to come up underneath her chin, and I'm going to use asphaltum with a touch of quinacridone gold. Okay. So asphaltum with a touch of quinacridone gold. And then we'll go up her neckline. Soften this. Remember what I said, when when you start getting these elements in and you're like, ugh, I need to, like that color is wrong, a wash will always bring it back. And you probably will see me do a wash a couple times tonight when it comes to this. When you try to float color after you have floated color and it's still wet, it just lifts. So do yourself a favor and dry it. All right, my friends over on YouTube, drop a comment or something. Everything's stopped. Whenever we'd go to my grandparents' house and my step-grandmother would be like, did you wash behind your ears? I'm like, yes. So I always think of that when I do my girls too, because I don't want to make them look dirty or that they have dirt behind their ears. Do yourself a favor and dry it. Then back to my skin color. I want to get rid of that line. So the best thing is just to kind of put it on and scrub it around. Got a dark line right there I got to get rid of. Okay. Thank you, Sherry Ann. And actually, I'm going to switch to my, do I want to switch to that? I think. With water on my 1/2 inch angle. See that very straight line? I want to get rid of it. And again, like I mentioned, one of the best ways to do that is just a wash. So your dark is going to stay. You'll be able to see where that is. But your line will go away. Because right now she has 2 chins. We can't have that. 1 chin is enough, right? Okay. So a little asphaltum, little quinacridone gold. You want water in your brush. You're loading it on the toe only. And we are going to float that right up underneath. There. And then soften that. Oh yeah, much better. And then when we highlight her chin, we'll take care of that. Okay. So again, wherever you'd put contour, if you use contour in your makeup, so under your hairline, you're going to have an automatic little shadow there. Anytime your brush gets dirty, wash it out, start over. All right. So I'm going to take that 3/8 angle, a little bit of asphaltum, and just work that into the toe of the brush. Very, very light. So I have just a touch. I'm going to swipe it across my paper towel. Because for the nose, I'm going to do an upside down U stroke, and then a U stroke, and then an upside down U stroke. Okay, so, oops, my finger's wet. So, upside down U, a U stroke, upside down U. Soften that with your mop. And then you're going to do a little bit on the left and the right. Again, when it comes to my girls, I have done many different variations of just like, sometimes it's an oval. Got to fix that because that nostril is off. Yeah, we want to fix that one. It's got to come. Let me get my skin tone color matched. Right there. So when that's off, you'll be able to see it right away. And we're just going to round that out. Do that out. Got just a little harsh with that line. Okay, let's dry this. Place small clusters of baby's breath in her braids. Ooh. I could. We just might be here till midnight, right? Because it's already an hour and a half. Where's the time go, right? All right, back to my 3/8 angle. Rinse that out. Pick up asphaltum. Sometimes I've done that with black. Sometimes it's just a little harsh. So, and then we'll do that little stroke there. I don't like to go down the whole way to her nose. I just like the implied. And then we will do her eyebrows. So with the toe of the brush, I'm just pulling up her eyebrows. I can still see my pen lines. It's one thing I don't do a lot with is my eyebrows. I've kind of always had like Brooke Shield eyebrows, and I just leave them until they get unmanageable, and then I will have someone do it. But when I was in high school, I was traumatized. Actually, I think I need to do it this way. Because my sister and a classmate, Sherry Ward, held me down in bed to pluck my eyebrows. And yeah, it traumatized me. So. You're game for an all-nighter? Awesome. I was thinking about actually tomorrow or Friday doing pajamas. What do you guys think about that? Painting in our pajamas on Friday. Okay, I'm going to get some primary blue. We used it last night. And a little bit of white and a small brush. So a little bit of primary blue and a lot of white. I didn't even go back there. Did you see? I just came right next to it. Now, if you like this color, go next to that. Okay, because then you can keep that color if you need it for something else. But I do like that icy blue was what I was going for. My favorite color in the Shiva oils from Jack Richardson is ice blue. If you are an oil painter and you've ever used that color, drop me a comment. It is amazing. dry her. And then I'm going to use the 1/4 inch angle. Again, my faux squirrel 1/4 inch angle. And on the toe, I want to pick up just a touch of primary blue, but I'm also going to pick up just the tiniest touch of Payne's Gray. And we are going to float that color right around the inside of her eye ball, right there. Oh yeah. Now she's looking a little Game of Thrones, right? Let's dry it. Gonna take that 1/4 inch angle with a little bit of asphaltum, swipe it across my paper towel, and I want to go under that lid, under the eyebrows. Let's clean those puppies up. I don't see where I loaded my brush. There we go. Okay, and underneath that little crease. We don't want to give her bags. Believe me, I've been fighting it my whole life. I inherited dark circles under my eyes, and they've just continued because I don't sleep well, so. Okay. A little there. I am going to come back now that this is kind of dry and I've given it a second to look like a nostril. Okay. There we go. And then let's come in with our 10-aught. Hello, Carol. Another one of my members. Hello, Missy Davis. Thanks for being here. Okay. I am going to take my pen because I do find, rather than a liner brush, that it's much easier to come in and draw with the pen than with a liner, okay? I'll fill it in with a liner, but then I also like to come around and outline that part there. And then we will fill it in with paint, but not black, Payne's Gray, which is going to look just as black. Let's see if I need to fix those up. I think I do. Remember I said they were too big, so I tried to shorten them, but then now it looks like the eye shape is off. So I'm going to round that out. Alrighty, let's try it. We'll leave that. Let's go to our Mezzaluna brush. So a Mezzaluna brush, my absolute favorite dry brush. There are 4 different sizes: extra large, large, medium, small. I pretty much use the small and medium for everything. But we're going to pick up some of that titanium white, work it in. You see I do that on the palette. I'm going to wipe off a lot of that paint. I'm going to use the corner of it, circle, and pull up. And that's just going to give her a little bit of a highlight and almost an automatic shadow on her nose. And then up here, it's kind of that T-zone. So we want to do a little on the forehead, a little on her nose bridge, a little on the chin. Again, exactly where you would highlight your makeup. Again, a little bit more white, and we'll give her a little concealer to cover up those dark circles. All right, and then I'm going to take that same brush. I did not wash it out. I use it dry. I'm going to pick up a little bit of quinacridone gold and work that in. You'll see there on my palette. And then wipe almost all of it off. And then the key is this rounded dome part. We want to put that in like the crook of her cheek. And we're just doing small circular motions. Okay, I like to use orange for the cheek color. I've used pink. We have pink in the background. But I think the orange is going to look better because it's just going to give her a little bit of a sun-kissed glow. Okay, so just small little circular motions. Again, load it up, wipe it off. Right here, which we can't see a lot of her cheek, but we do want to give her some cheek color. It's much easier to start out with the light color and build it up versus really, really, really heavy and having to take away color, okay? So start out light, and then if you need more, build up. You could even put a little pink on that, and it would be pretty. But one thing I do, if that's like too much or too in your face, I will use my skin tone color, again, a wash over it. All right, let's come in with her lips, and I'm going to stick with that quinacridone gold. And make it very inky. Just to get, I don't want to do the black. Oops, my brush. Let's get more paint. She's coming together, isn't she? Slowly, but she's coming together. Oops, I need to really thin that down. You have to keep me posted, Loretta, how your appointment goes. Alrighty. And then, so like Ronnie had mentioned earlier, the expo that was in Chattanooga last year, next year is going to be in Trussville, Alabama, which isn't real far from me. It's farther than it's further away than Chattanooga, but still doable. All right, I'm gonna do a little Payne's Gray. We're just gonna do a tiny little dash there, and then her eyelid. A lot of times I'll do this with the pen, but I'm just gonna do it with the paint and my 10-aught liner. And give her a little bit of a wing there. Now, I'm not doing a portrait for it to hang, you know, in King Charles's house. So, take creative license when you're doing it. It is fun just to play. And there, you always backtrack with your previous color. So if it's like, don't like it, backtrack with the color you had before. Still have that dark line there, Sandy. What was I thinking? There we go. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so I have her lips outlined. And yes, it is near Birmingham. I love Birmingham. Again, not that far from me. So we are going to do quinacridone gold. And I think I might even add in a little bit of strawberry that we had from the other palette in the background. I don't want to make it pink, but that quinacridone gold and strawberry look pretty. Strawberry is a very transparent color, so it works really well with the media line, which is also transparent. There are very few colors in that line that are opaque, and I might need to get a new liner. I think I left this one maybe in the water too long. All right, let's dry it. 12 miles for 12 minutes. It's going to be great. We need more conventions, more people, keep this industry alive. So kind of on the I forgot her hair. Membership in my group, if you're wanting to learn mixed media, decorative painting, winging it, because I wing it all the time, intuitive creating, how to design, all those things I have in my group. Aw, I love that Donna. She's coming along, isn't she? I'm kind of liking her. I think she needs some freckles, though. I think she needs some freckles. So maybe a little bit of asphaltum and quinacridone gold and what do we think? Little freckles. I'm gonna go back to my Mezzaluna, but I'm actually gonna grab a clean one because I want just white to really do that nice bright highlight that I like right in the middle of the nose. Okay. Now let's go back to her lips, but I think I will use a small brush instead of a liner. Oftentimes if you use a smaller brush, yes, Loretta, I'm winging it, but I'm showing you guys as I'm winging it. No more convention in Montreal or Quebec. I know. I'd go in a heartbeat, I have to tell you. I wish there were. I loved Audrey doing those during the pandemic. Okay. Now, I'm going to dry her lips. They're not done, but I want to dry them. So I don't get my hand into it. Right? The freckles are cute. She needed them. Alrighty, so we are going to go. Re-outline. Okay. Now, when it comes to the eyes, I don't do a lot of detail, but I every now and then will come in with like a little bit of white, and I want these to be a little more crystal blue, so that little white detail right there will help. Right, and then we'll fix up any white we have there. Dry it. Dry it. I have that Mezzaluna. Let's give her a little highlight on her chin. Let's give her a little highlight on her neck. Alrighty. 3/8 angle. Now this might surprise you, but in order to put her eye into her socket, we have to float some Payne's Gray right up underneath her top eyelid. So you go over the eye and everything, over the pupil, over the iris, all of it, okay? And then I'll come in and do a little shading for that inner eye and edge. And there are a couple ways you can do the highlight. You can do it with a liner brush. My favorite way is to do it with the Posca pen. Okay, so I'm just going to take that ultra fine tip. I do have this on my website, this 0.7, and work that in. And then we're going to do a dash. Oh, well, I might not do a dash if this pen is done. There. And 3, and a dash. And I like to do 3 or 4 little dots. Okay. Up here, we're going to do a couple little dots and tap. Couple little dots and tap. Give her a little bit of a highlight. However, we are going to fix the inside of her mouth. To make it a little more open. And then underneath her mouth, you know how that right underneath your bottom lip, you've got that little, there's like a little shadow there. Okay, and then above the nose, excuse me, above the mouth to the nose, you have that little peak right there. And just touch it. Back to the Posca pen. We're going to highlight her upper lip. Highlight that again. I oftentimes like to do that on the nose and just pull it up, or on the chin, and tap it out. Okay. And she's kind of looking a little freaky, but I want to show you something when it comes to eyelashes, guys. So, if you have an eye, okay, if you do your eyelashes like this, that's not what you want to do. You want to do under the lid, scoop down and up, scoop down and up, because they're growing from the bottom of that lid. They're not growing from the top. Okay, so when we do her eyelashes, we want to come from here and go onto that eyeball there, and then here I just do 3 or 4 there. I need to fix that black line there. So 3 or 4 or 5 there, and then starting, and they're going that direction. Okay, so there are her eyelashes, and I want to come back now with, so I had, raw sienna and a little bit of white. Raw sienna, a little bit of white. I might even put a little bit of that quinacridone gold in, which I think I'm going to do. Let's see first. Raw sienna and some white with some water. That's a little on the white side. So let's go to, I think I'll do Sunset Gold. I had grabbed yellows and browns thinking, oop, that needs to be shook up. Oh, thanks, Janet. The Posca pen is absolutely amazing. And if you have not heard, DecoArt is coming out with Make Your Own Pen. So you can take any of your Americana colors, traditions, media, whatever, and create your own. Oh yeah, that's pretty. So this is Sunset Gold, and I just had that dirty brush, so it still had a little bit of white in it. And I'm gonna make it quite bright, because then I'll show you what I'm gonna do to bring it back to a little brown with highlights. And I just have, this is a number 4 flat, and I'm just using it on the chisel edge. Again, this is what I do with my group 3 or 4 times a month. The majority of the time, I don't call them classes. To me, a class is where I'm going to stop and give you time to catch up, right? Well, when you're painting at 7 o'clock at night, and it's just not as feasible. So that's why I do the free quarterly Zoom classes. First off, so that my members can see people and put a face to a name. The other is to, for me to take a little bit of time and slow down and, answer questions about what I'm doing. I will look at questions, but, it's me, myself, and I. So if I don't see that question, most times people in the group will answer, like what color, what brush. But if not, then I will always be available to answer those questions. So, and we do everything. It's not just decorative painting or mixed media, or I don't like to create the same thing over and over and over again. That's why if you look at a sunflower in one of my packets versus another, they're probably painted very different, because I paint the way I feel that day, or what I'm putting into it. So I don't go back to look, oh, I painted a sunflower 2 weeks ago, how did I paint it? Nope. Just gonna look at the real flowers I'm going by, or my reference photos, because I love to take those as well, especially when my husband gives me flowers. And go from that. Okay, so a little bit more white. I think I want to do some brighter, because when I do the wash with asphaltum, it's going to make them a little more golden brown and not so blonde, because again, I wasn't really going for blonde. Unless you guys like her as a blonde. They do say blondes have more fun. However, I will say I'm a brunette and I have a lot of fun. Okay. So yeah, Ronnie, no flowers in the hair. We'll be here till midnight. So Linda takes notes and paints later in the group, so she can stop the recording as she paints. Thank you, Kathy. I'm not sure. I might carry the black Poscas. Always enjoy your teaching. Thank you, Mary. At night, I just watch, right? It's a lot. It's a lot to do, especially, if you work, if you've got a full day. I'm going to take a little bit of asphaltum, because we need a little shadow right there from her braid. Ooh, there's that gnat. Okay. And then a little asphaltum, and let's go back up here to that raw sienna and asphaltum. I'm gonna work that in on the toe. If it goes everywhere, that's okay, but I wanna kind of soften the look of that part. That's a pretty combo. Asphaltum and raw sienna. I've not used that combo before, but I like it. A little, remember we did that before, but we kind of lost it. A little under her eyebrow, a little under her nose. There. All right. I am going to take my liner brush. I'm going to go back into the primary blue. So I wanted this to dry before I did this part. Let me find something. Oh, you know that stuff that comes out of the paint with no pigment? Use it. It's a medium. It'll work great for you, just like water, but it has all the properties to keep your paint in place. So I am going to come in and do just little lines on her eye. Remember we did that with white earlier, but I want to make these kind of piercing. So put a little bit of blue. I think one of the cool things that I, again, love about my group is that I get to share the things that I have taught myself, that I've learned over the years, but that I'm also still learning and teaching myself different things and different ways to do stuff. A little bit more on her brows, now that we've got them in place. Okay, now I am going to come in with that 12 flat. Okay, I love, love, love. I'll tell you one of the reasons I love this brush too with the acrylic handles. I can leave it in my water and it's not going to chip or whatever. So what kind of medium? So kind of like a blending medium, a glazing medium. I would say more of a blending medium or a flow medium. It's just the resin and stuff that comes in the paint. So I know a lot of times before I would just wipe it off my palette. And I'm like, no, I could use that to like help the paint along. But I do want a very wet brush now with a little bit of asphaltum. Not a lot. You can see there on my palette. I'm mixing that up, swiping across my paper towel. And I'm going to just brush that over her braids. That part. So look at that side versus the other. See how it just brought everything together and kind of toned it down. We'll go behind that little. She still needs some brighter highlights. And she needs a shirt, right? She doesn't need a white t-shirt, and she needs butterflies. No, I don't put Ultra Matte. This is my go-to varnish for everything. I love the way that it makes my pages feel. My surfaces that I paint, wood, paper mache, you name it, this is what I use. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to the 3/8 angle, and I'm going to pick up some asphaltum on the toe, and we're just going to bring a little bit of that back after our wash. We've got a little bit of Sunset Gold. Where's my white? I need titanium white. So Sunset Gold and titanium white. And we just want to come into like these brighter highlights. So I'm just sliding on the chisel edge. And when you slide on the chisel edge, you want to think of it like you're ice skating. The brush moves at the same rate of speed. You're moving it from your shoulder down, and there we go. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of highlight maybe a little bit of the tops of these braids. Again, I'm not painting a portrait. I'm painting one of Sandy's girls. And I say that because there are a lot of elements that you're seeing tonight that you could use in a portrait. I have only done one portrait, and it was actually a portrait of Jesus that I did in water-soluble oils years ago. I don't even know where he is right now. I mean, I know where he is, but in my house, the one I painted, don't know where it's at. And I don't know, unless I take some classes and do some portraits and learn the techniques, I probably wouldn't share a painting that I did of like a real person, like my husband. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want it to look bad. And it's not really something I've ever really cared to learn. I think it's great and it's beautiful, those that can paint portraits, but it's never really been my thing. It's kind of, I can kind of equate it to like the person doing my website right now, that I have in my mind what I want, and she's, I don't even know where she's at, England, I think. From her address. And so if it's not that way, she can't read my mind. But again, I want her to, because this is what I want. And so that's like with portraits, it'd be like, oh, what if they don't like it? Like, to be honest, I wasn't real thrilled with King Charles and those portraits. They were just all red. Okay, so we're just adding a little bit of highlight. Little in your face, bright highlight to make these little braids stand out. So I'm kind of hitting, this is still Sunset Gold and titanium white. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go to her shirt. Her shirt is going to be teal. Her shirt is going to be dragon teal, in fact. Hello, Sharon. How are you? So Janet, sometimes, thank you, Carol. Sometimes, like this one, I just drew it out on my paper. And then I go back and I gesso over it like I did in the very beginning of this lesson. Sometimes I will do a line drawing or sketch it out, and then I go back with matte medium. But I do prefer gesso over matte medium for your base. Because sometimes the matte medium can resist the paint if you use too much. And let's get those little shadings in there. So this is just asphaltum. But I typically will use either gesso or matte medium, because if I don't, it's going to be, the paint is going to stay exactly where it is. Like when you put it down on that paper, it is there. All right, so let's go back to our, where is my number 12 flat? There it is underneath my palette. So I'm going to get a little water and we will pick up that Dragon Teal. So this is a color that came out this year. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's similar to Desert Turquoise. So if you've got Desert Turquoise, you can use that. But it has a little bit richer color than Desert Turquoise. I didn't know what I wanted to do with her collar, so I just kind of left it like that. But I might make it solid. We'll see. I'm waiting for either YouTube or Facebook just to cut me off. So these lessons that I do live this week, guys, because Facebook is deleting things, I'm not reloading those to my Sandy McTeer Designs Facebook page. So if you don't follow me or subscribe on YouTube, I would love for you to head over there and do so, because that's where you're going to be able to watch them as long as they don't change there. I pay extra to have storage on Google already, so there's that. So this is the Dragon Teal, beautiful color. And I think goes with the pink and the yellow. And I probably will use a little orange maybe. All right, let's dry her shirt. Oh, she's so cute. Yes, thank you, Cindy. I drew my girl out on a blank journal page. And then I put gesso over it in the very beginning. Okay, sometimes I gesso the page and then I draw or transfer my pattern. But majority of the time I will say I will do the drawing first and then I'll come back and gesso over it. Okay. All right, so let's go in with our 1/4 inch. I'm going to pick up some tangerine. And I'm kind of thinking along the lines of like what Ronnie said with the Mariposa. And maybe doing a little bit, not a monarch per se, but the colors of a monarch. So a little bit of tangerine on these butterflies. Again, if you're in my membership group, you guys will get the line drawing for this tomorrow. Because when I'm done tonight, I'm gonna be done. Let's pick up a little bit of white because we got that blue on our butterfly there. My bad. Okay, so I am going to use that 1/4 inch angle with a little bit of sunset, gold, and white, probably a little more white this time because I want these, see how I'm jumping around, let those butterflies dry. I don't want to put these back in with the pen, even though I can still see the pen. I want these to show up as the line. Very haphazard, very random. I'm not even looking at the lines that I have in the braid because if I do, I'm going to want to follow them exactly, and I don't want that. I want it to be very organic and separate. Sunset gold and titanium white. Okay. I'm going to do the other side. Oh, need a little more white. This side didn't have much. Aw, thank you, Deborah. You mentioned last night on the live that you thought you did everything right to join the group, and I didn't see anything come through today. So you can always go to my website, Deborah, and message me, because if you thought it went through, it didn't, unfortunately. But I, of course, would love to have you in the group. And alrighty, now we'll take that 3/8 angle with a little bit of quinacridone gold, because why not? I mean, hello, that color is gorgeous. And it just accentuates that orange that's already there. It's just kind of deepening. That color. Oops. Thank you, Carrie. Thanks, Sherry Ann. All right, guys. So I think the teal brought the blue in her eyes out, right? Yes, but we do need, oh my gosh, it's 10:15. Hello, Sandy. What the heck? We need to add her roses to her shirt. I think I've just been talking too much, yeah? But I've been talking and painting, so. The thing is, what you guys are seeing is how I would paint it to get it ready for my group. And since when I go to my group, I already have all the colors and everything in place of where I put it. I don't tonight because I winged it. I had the line drawing, but no clue of what I was going to paint, how I was going to paint her, how she was going to come along. So we will dry her shirt. Okay, let's let that set up on the those lines there. Just a little bit of a highlight, okay, and then again on her nose, and then just pull it up. All right, to her shirt, I'm gonna grab a stencil brush. So I have my favorite go-to Dynasty Pro stencil brushes. We're gonna pick up a little bit of, I think we're gonna pick up a little bit of white and a touch of primary blue. Kind of, again, to pull out maybe the colors of her eyes. Load it up, wipe it off on a dry paper towel. Has to be dry. And we're gonna put this in place. Let's get a portion that looks good. And you could do this before you do her hair. That certainly would help. Oh yeah, how cute is that? That's all she needs. That's all she needs there. Okay, back to the butterflies. We are going to come in with our pen. And I just want to outline those. I'll do the bodies with Payne's Gray so I don't wear out my pen. which I'm about to do. Where's paper? There it is. Okay, so we've got that on. And even though I drew this out with a whole bunch of different lines and design on the butterfly, I think I'm going to keep them very basic. If you've got butterfly stamp, that'll work great as well. Let's get that to work. So these pens work great on paint. However, as you go over them several times, just take a piece of paper and keep swirling. That one I went into wet paint, but keep swirling. So if you think that it's dead, it's not. You just need to revive it. There's wet paint right there. That's what I keep going into. Okay, so I do have some yellow. So let's get some Hansa yellow light, or you can use yellow light, bright yellow in Americana. And we will bring a little bit of yellow to the edge. So 3/8 angle, and I'm just putting a little bit of yellow from the edge to the orange. And then, oops, got right into that. This one has that blue there, so I'm going to add a little bit of white to that yellow because, you know, yellows are transparent, right? So we're just going to make this one, that's bigger and closer to us, so we'll make that one stand out a little bit more. And then dry it. Thank you, Loretta. So over on Facebook, she put, I will not have a booth at Net. No. Because my husband and I are going to do the whole New England Trail. And I don't want all that stuff sitting in my car. It's already going to be, you know, loaded with my camera stuff. And so sadly, no. Maybe next year. Okay, back to Payne's Gray. And we're going to... This is another reason I usually have my girls done before I take it to my membership group. Because, you know, just the decisions and where I want things and is kind of a playing game with each one that I do. So when I go live with my group, like I will tomorrow night before I come and paint with you guys, everything is done. A PDF is loaded with the line drawing. Majority of the time, everyone watches and paints after because, again, it's a lesson and not necessarily a class. I think that's important to know because if you pay for a class, you would expect me to stop and wait for you to catch up or, you know, at least kind of get close to being on the same page. And that's not really feasible to keep our lessons 2 hours long and not 5 hours long. All right. And then down to this one. Oops, I got a lot of Payne's Gray. So I just have my 10-aught with my Payne's Gray. I'm just going over that. Oops. We want that there. All right. I'm excited about NET though, which if you're not familiar with NET, it's the New England Traditions convention in the Boston area. Oh, I'm loving that. Okay, and I love her freckles. Oh my gosh. Loving, loving, loving her freckles. Okay. So on the butterflies, I think I'm going to do just tiny little dots at the top with the Posca pen. And then we'll do, oops, get that working. I think I'll do some on the bottom. All right. Oh, and then I think I do want to do just a few. I think I need a new Posca pen. And I just use my finger because I don't want it to look outlined, but I want it to have that nice little white highlight. Yeah, I need a new white Posca pen. I'm going to have to steal it from my store. I think we'll just highlight some of those freckles. Again, little there. Okay, and then when it comes to the butterflies, guys, I probably will just do a very generic, I know I drew it out pretty elaborate, but, you know, with the little loops. Okay, so something like that, right? Let me get a pen that, this one's new, so do like a little teardrop shape. And I will say that those usually are the same, whatever that middle stroke is, but if I get into comparing sides, they might not match up, and that's okay with me. Oop, get that. So don't throw those pins out if you think that they are not working. They will. Just need to go to a separate piece of paper. Okay, oh, and this one needs a little help. And I think that paint, it's wet there, and it needs white dots. I did them, but either I stuck my hand in it or what, they soaked in. Oh, sorry, my hair was in the way. Saw the back of my hair. A little highlight down the body. All right, we are almost done. We are going to move that out of the way, that out of the way. One thing I do like to do if I use a stencil somewhere is I will use it somewhere else, but in a different color. Hello, Charlie. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of Payne's Gray, and then we will wipe it off. And then let's just put maybe just a little bit of that Payne's Gray on those roses, right? To tie into her shirt. I think I wiped off too much. Love, love, love. And then maybe just on the edge. We don't want it competing with her shirt. right? Okay, last finishing touches. You guys know I love my cast shadows. So right into the Payne's Gray. Inky, inky, inky. We're going to go up underneath her hair. We're going to go underneath the butterfly to lift him up off her hair. I always say to my group when we're painting and doing a lesson, you know what's coming next, because not a lesson with Sandy unless you've got some kind of cast shadow. Just want to lift it. Let's get up there. And then for the antennas, I do think they need a tiny bit of a highlight because they just, so I'm just going to swipe it. Swipe, and where it hits. Right? Alrighty. So I'm digging her. Let me zoom out just a little bit. I know that was kind of long, but 2.5 hours for me to make up my mind of what colors I'm going to use, where things are going to go. I might tweak her a little bit here and there, and when I do that in my membership group, I always, will post my picture in there for them to see. So again, you guys don't forget that this week only, and Sunday night at midnight, to join my membership group. It won't be open again until the fall. 300 plus recorded lessons, 3 to 4 times live with me. You get more of me than you see on a Sunday, or that you're even going to see this week. But it's a good take, and it says Tuesday instead of Wednesday because it's yesterday's. But you get more of me in the group, a little bit more of my attention, a little bit more of my assistance and help with things, maybe even not in the group. So it could be something you're working on and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm happy to help my members when it comes to that. So thank you guys. I think she's pretty. She's a little different than what I had thought. She's a little more blonde than what I thought I was going to go with tonight. But I like her. Actually, I love her. She's pretty. So, all right. So members in the membership group, you guys will get the line drawing for that. We'll put it in there tomorrow morning. I will, thank you, Sandy, love her, can't wait to paint her, best investment you can make in your art. Join the group and join us for all the fun. Thank you, Janet. Again, that's one of the reasons I love my group, is they're so supportive and such cheerleaders, and just there. If you've got a question, they'll answer. If you need to find something in the group, they'll help you. And I don't know about y'all, but community and painting and being a part of something that's creative has certainly helped me since the pandemic, more than a lot of things. So I saw Charlie just sent me something. So thank you guys so much. I will be back tomorrow. I have a lesson with my group at 7. I was actually thinking about moving that up to 6. So that we're not so late tomorrow. However, tomorrow's live here most likely is going to start around the 9 o'clock hour. So just keep watching for me, because I won't be able to post for when I'm going live other than around the 9 o'clock hour. Okay, so be on the lookout whether you're on YouTube or my Sandy McTeer Designs Facebook page. And if you're in the group, then you'll be able to see our lesson for tomorrow, which I think I put somewhere. It's the succulents. Where did I put that? Oh, I see it. Hello. I grabbed so many things to share and show. But this is my lesson tomorrow night with my membership group. And if you're there,
I look forward to painting with you guys. And otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow sometime around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Okay? Thanks so much for joining me. I love her. Appreciate y'all. I would love to join the group if I can. So Mona, the thing is with the group, you can join monthly or yearly. You can cancel at any time if you have to. If you decide that you want to join and you're like, ooh, I really love this, you can switch from monthly to yearly. So it's just a fun thing. But I will be here all week. I'll be here tomorrow night around 9 o'clock. And Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I do my live with my phone case, the phone holder. So anyway, appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the likes, comments, shares. That is going to get you entered into the Happy Mail. I've got all the Happy Mails that were from yesterday. Y'all don't forget to contact me with your mailing address so that I can get those goodies to you, because they're all sitting over there waiting to be shipped out. But if I do not hear from you by Sunday, unfortunately, it goes back into the stash. Okay? All right, guys, thanks so much. I will see you tomorrow night. My membership group, those that are already members and those new members that have joined. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow night here around 9-ish to create something. So leave in the comments what you would like for me to paint. All right? I will look at those prompts, take that prompt as a challenge, and create something fun for you guys. All right? Have a